Listen. So we're all locked down. Yes, we're all in lockdown. We're all fucking going bonkers. We're all losing the fucking plot. But everyone is locked down in their own kind of bubbles, in their own homes. And, you know, we're used to kind of seeing our neighbors through windows. I don't know about you, but I'm fond of just kind of peeking out into the streets to see if there are gatherings going on. You know what I mean? If people are fucking flaunting the rules. And it's led me to wonder, all of these other households out there that are alone, I wonder often what kind of mad shit goes on behind closed doors, right? In that kind of David Lynch picket fence kind of scratch the surface and see the dark underbelly kind of way.
Rear window, you know?
Exactly that. But even more
Disturbia, please.
Disturbia, naturally.
all of that great stuff. And sometimes when you're in that frame of mind as well, stories kind of leap out at you from the news, right? When you're in that kind of frame of mind wondering, because the people who are locked in with their misdeeds right now are really locked in with their misdeeds. And the story, literally yesterday, the story came to the news of a lady from Japan called Yumi Yoshino, right? A 48-year-old woman who was arrested. Has this story come your way?
I don't think so. Her name does not.
A woman got arrested where?
In Japan, right? So Tokyo.
In Japan. In Japan. No, I didn't get. I gotta check my Japan news. Yes.
Well, it made the news over here, right? A cleaner in this poor lady's flat discovered the body of her mother in her fucking freezer, right?
No.
Yeah.
What?
This woman, 48-year-old woman, had her mother's corpse in her freezer for 10 years.
10 years.
For 10 fucking years.
Can I tell you where my mind initially went on this?
Oh, go on, please.
Listen, I've been to Japan, and people live in very small spaces.
I know. Was it a big freezer?
And how much space does this take up? Like, honestly, from a practical perspective, keeping your mother frozen in a Japanese flat seems
Was she
impractical.
chopped up or like?
That's a good question.
You make an excellent point, Mac. The body had been bent to fit.
Oh,
Bent.
no.
So
Not bent.
Folded up. You know what I mean? Mom was kind of folded up.
Was it?
But
Sorry, go ahead.
When you go into the reasons why she'd done this and kept her there.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to move out of the fucking flat that they shared. She didn't want to get evicted from her place. Exactly that.
No.
She was living a very comfortable, rent-free life in this flat with her mother in a freezer for 10 goddamn years.
So who paid the rent then?
Was the flat owned by her mother? I don't know. There were no visible
like
on
maybe
the body.
yeah.
Exactly.
But okay.
So she owned the place outright, potentially, and thus she wasn't paying rent because she already owned it.
Yep.
How long was it again? 10 years?
10 years, a full decade of living with your mother's corpse in the freezer. And
was it a separate freezer, or like she was like, oh, I'm gonna grab some peas, but also here's my mother.
But also here's like I said, you know the realities of Japanese real estate. I mean, you look at the pictures of the building, and it's a huge kind of high rise with kind of flats, kind of tiny.
So there's no way this is like, oh, she lived out in the countryside and she had like a bunch of space. Like, no, this is a tiny flat that she's sharing with her dead frozen mother.
But this gets me thinking, right? I mean, it's by no means an isolated incident. Quite recently, in May of last year, May in 2020, a case of a Pennsylvania woman who kept her grandmother's corpse in a freezer for 15 years so that she could continue collecting her Social Security.
Oh, wow.
And these are two cases within a year of one another of two ladies living with their mother's corpse in their freezer. So it gets me fucking thinking, man. Your neighbor,
how many freezers are full of dead grandparents and parents?
How many? I mean, I don't know. Just think on. I'm not suggesting that it's commonplace. I'm not suggesting this is a widespread phenomena. It's just two isolated.
I mean, maybe it is though. Think about this. If like multiple of these are discovered, right? It stands to reason that there's got to be a good chunk undiscovered. People who don't have house cleaners or like whatever, who are just keeping dead relatives in their homes, and we have like maybe this is frequent.
Yep.
I mean, how casual you found 2 examples so easily. It feels like it would only take a little bit.
I barely had to look, Mac.
Yeah.
I barely had to search.
Only one more, and it's a pattern technically. So like that's.
I'll just sprinkle one more in as a little plot
Please
twist.
do.
Okay.
Sprinkle it.
In the end here, the tale of a man from St. Louis, who last year, St. Louis?
St. Louis?
St. Louis. It depends.
Potato, mate. Fucking tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the film, meet me in St. Louis.
St. Louis, right? Plot twist. This geezer was looking after his mother in her dying years, right? She was coming to the end of a long illness. And sadly, she passed away. And while clearing out her effects and looking through her freezer, this guy finds a dead baby.
A baby?
Yep, a mummified baby. And I shit you not, you look at the photos, it was in a plastic wrap box next to like the frozen pies. Not of the actual baby, but of the box in situ in the freezer.
Sure.
And we're talking right next to, frozen
Whatever.
foods, frozen
Otter
pies,
pots or, yeah.
literally push the peas aside, just reach in. This poor little fucker had been there for 37 years.
The baby? How old?
This baby is like just a little older than me.
Wow.
Yeah.
My entire life, that baby has been in a freezer.
I was always told it was a wedding
weird
cake
thought.
top. I pulled it out and I set it directly on the table. I took a knife and cut through the plastic and opened it up. Turns out that it was a baby. It still had skin, hair, and everything. It was mummified. After that, I just freaked out. So
I just spit soda all over my computer. I was told it was a wedding cake top.
Yeah. Grandma was very, very tight-lipped about this box. Apparently, it had even moved homes with her. Whenever she'd moved home, she'd brought this plastic wrapped box with her and just quiet, put my box in the freezer, son. Just put it back in the freezer wherever she'd lived.
So do you think it was a baby she had aborted? Like
maybe it was like a miscarriage and she was like a stillborn and she.
But that's not illegal. So I don't understand why she would.
Well, maybe it was like a grief thing. Like maybe she was like
coping mechanism.
Yeah, coping thing of keeping this.
Although maybe if you're keeping it in the freezer for 37 years, you aren't coping.
Well, yeah,
I feel like at that
arguably.
point, you could probably. I mean, I feel like I read enough true crime to know that you could have ditched it by then.
Yeah. There would have been an opportunity in 37 years.
In 37 years, yeah.
Got the place to myself. But anyway, what I'm saying is,
there's a lot of family members in freezers.
There's a lot of people out there tonight. Maybe even someone listening to this cast tonight.
You're calling them out, Mark.
That's exactly what I'm doing. It's time. It's time to fucking give up the jig, folks. If you've got fucking your sister or your mother or your grandma on ice right now, come on. There's got to be a better way. Let this be the first day of the rest of your life. Thaw it out and get on with your life.